Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, May 9th, around 1 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. A coronal mass ejection is headed towards Earth. Impact may be as early as tonight. We'll have the latest in just a moment. The big story, severe storms forecast to bring more tornadoes and flash flooding. Keep calm. It's springtime. Severe weather follows weeks of spring storms that brought California and Virginia twisters. And that severe weather is eyeing the plains and the Carolinas on Tuesday. Sunday became the fourth most active day of 2023 in terms of severe weather reports, with more than 300 combined reports of large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes across a dozen states from the plains to the southeast, and the severe weather threat continues. As the Central Plains is bracing for more severe weather, we have large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes possible on the East Coast, as well as Kansas and northern Oklahoma. Golf ball size hail fell overnight around Louisville, and golf ball size hail is expected in central Kansas on Wednesday and Thursday. Storms could bring golf ball size hail and tornado threats to parts of Oklahoma. Take a look at the hail map for Sunday, May 7th. 121,000 reports of 1 inches or larger, 6,752 reports of hail larger than 1.75 inches. You better strap on those helmets. Heavy rain in southeast Texas, severe storms possible in the plains. A low pressure system on the Gulf Coast will bring the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging winds and heavy rain that could cause flooding in southeast Texas. Severe storms and locally heavy rain will also be possible in the south and central plains. Dry, gusty winds are producing critical fire weather threats in the southwest. So heads up. Let's take a look. The snowfall totals are out, and just for the next 168 hours. And there is going to be some heavy snow in Colorado. And you can see where the snow is falling through mid-May. Hey. If we're looking for the heaviest precipitated water flooding potential, it's going to be central and southern Texas. And that will be specifically through May 13th and 14th, where we see some heavy totals showing up, as well as North, South Dakota, and Nebraska could also have flooding potential with 5 inches of rain predicted or precipitation in many regions and over 10 inches down in Texas. And with all that precipitation and all that melting snow, ho-ho, as predicted, we said by June that Lake Mead would cross last year's line, and it's going to happen in just a few days. A surge of 5, 6, 7 feet in just a week as Lake Mead water levels are surging upwards during the season where levels drop. We are going in the opposite direction, the opposite of what the alarmist said. And take a look at Lake Powell. It is off the charts. Let's see if I can shrink this down so you can see it. It won't even let you get in there. So let's bring it back up. Crazy. There we go. I just had to move the screen over. Look at how Lake Powell is surging since mid-April, up over 10 feet and now becoming exponential. The inflows to these lakes are literally insane. 50,000 plus CFS is some of the largest inflows that you can see in any river in the United States, including the Grand Canyon. And here we are, Lake Powell filling at over 55,000 cubic feet per second, rapidly rising. As predicted, we have rare summer snowfall in Kashmir. May is considered a hot month in Kashmir, but we've got some of the global warming goodness here. Rain is expected for the first half of May. Very rarely is snow witnessed in the Kashmir Valley due to the heat in May. But Gulmarg, Phlalang, Sonarang, and Quizgong receive snowfall early on Monday, May 8th, 2023, in the morning, making the roads slippery. The unseasonal snowfall brought back winter-like conditions to the valley. Holy mackerel. Look at these guys. Police personnel rescue locals stranded in the snow. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We do have a 5.0 in the Aleutians here. Could be some volcanic activity, but overall pretty quiet in the entire world. Worldwide Volcano News Update. Not much going on unique or exceptional that we need to report on as far as volcanoes erupting. So that brings us to coronal mass ejections and the sun. Here we are looking at NASA's ISWA Signet streamer showing a coronal mass ejection headed our way to make impact on the 11th. And this has to do with this long duration solar flare. We also have some other larger M flares, including an M6 flare that happened earlier today, detected all around that same region, active region 3296. This has produced almost all of the flaring we're looking at right there. So that being said, the 3-day geomagnetic and auroral forecast is not looking that spicy. They're only predicting up to KP5, which is G1 geomagnetic storm, but others are predicting as high as G2 or G3. Currently looks pretty weak as far as the aurora, and we will keep our eye closely on it as we take a look at the WSA Enlil spiral, which is showing here on the 8th and 9th eruptions coming out of the sun and giving Earth, well, a weak glancing blow in a section with very little plasma. That spike is going to be happening on the 11th early in the morning, so 24 hours from now, according to the WSA Enlil spiral. So anytime in the next 24 to 36 hours, we could be seeing some perturbations to the geomagnetic field and potentially a burst of aurora. So stay tuned for updates on the upcoming potential geomagnetic storm. Now, sticking with space weather, we have a paper here coming out May of this year predicting the 25th and 26th solar cycles using, well, some kind of mathematical model here they call short-term memory. And they think that solar cycle 25 will be about 21% stronger than 24, with a peak of 135.2 occurring on April of next year. And solar cycle 26 will be similar to 25, peaking in January of 2035. So they're putting it up here in this mid region, 10, 20, 35, peaking right here. Will they be correct? It's anyone's guess. And what you should know is that 90% of all solar cycle predictions are incorrect, except ours. So there's that. NASA's $10 billion telescope snaps unbelievable first image of an exoplanet. And they show this as the headline, which takes everyone off guard and thinks that that's actually something. It's actually this blurry piece of garbage here that really shows, well, nothing except maybe Nibiru. Is El Nino supercharging heat waves across Asia? Well, I'm sure you've seen this meme we have on the tweet box, and there's no one corroborating this in these regions. It's simply a cut and paste for the propagandists in the West, not based on any science whatsoever. This is a prehistoric flute from Germany, and it's the oldest known musical instrument on Earth. Excavations in the summer of 2008 at the site of the Hohlfels, or Hohenfels, or Volgograd produced new evidence for Paleolithic music in the forms of the remains of nearly one complete bone flute and 3 ivory flutes. So multiple flutes, like it's a whole band. And these flutes are dating to an astonishing earlier than 35,000 years ago. That's amazing. Some think that the flutes are around 40,000 years. And we're going to have a full expose tonight on Magnetic Reversal News on the implications of these flutes, how they emerged right at the time of the Champ magnetic excursion, and what it all may mean for the history of humanity. Do you know about Tim Pool? He sounds just like I did 8 years ago. Listen to this. This is earlier today. Well, in fact, 19 minutes ago.
So what do? I'll tell you, my friends, as the stories just keep piling on and piling on, I got to tell you to get out of the cities, become self-sufficient, start producing your own food, raise chickens, goats, whatever it is you got to do. I'm not going to give you financial advice. I'll give you life advice.
Very interesting. And that's a boom to knowledge. All the links to everything will be below the video we've talked about. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please hit that thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do and watch everything commercial free. Most importantly, be safe. We love you. And that's a boom.